Hey guys, welcome back. It is your favorite Gimp of the Limp, and I'm here with a special treat for you all. You guys saw me play this when I did the Vassal game with Mo and Kev, and Mark was nice enough to jump on and guest with us. And I had so much fun with The Long Road that I decided I needed to do at least one scenario where I'm actually playing out with the components, because it is just so freaking awesome. All right, so The Long Road by Flying Pig Games. Had a real good time with the game that we played, so I wanted to do this one little scenario for you guys just to show the components, let you see all the cool stuff that it has to offer. If I am a little slow on my uploads, please bear with me. My camera has been broken accidentally, and I've got to try to get it fixed. So I'm getting a couple of videos recorded while I can, while it's still functioning, but it's like tape and spit holding this thing together right now, so cross your fingers. But to show you something really cool that I'm getting to use on this, the wife for Christmas came through big. This is my new dice tower. Look at this thing, check it out. It lights up, man. It's freaking awesome, and it's perfect for this that has paranormal stuff in it. So we've got our Grim Reaper dice tower that I'm going to be using just because it's that freaking cool. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, very quickly, The Long Road is a tactical skirmish game set roughly in World War III era time frame. The only thing is it does have paranormal elements in it. So you can play it just like, NATO versus Soviets and just leave it at that, or you can get the paranormal stuff. Obviously, I like it for the paranormal stuff, so that's what we're going to have in here. In our scenario, there are a few special rules. So we have some Soviets over here. There are 3 of these infantry, and they have 3 of these BTR, was it 70? Yeah, BTR 70s. All right, so this is the 3 things they have. 3, all the same. They can set up in any clear hex, and I'm putting all of these infantry in loaded. So they're starting loaded in there, all the same. And the goal is to have control of these 2 farm zones here, okay? This area here in the center is not city. This is forest hex. The whole map is considered forest. The only parts that aren't considered forest are these 2 little farm, it's called like farmhouse areas. Okay, so here and here, that's farmland. We don't have to worry about this one over here. We're just going to call that forest as well, but the fighting is really not going to take place over there, so it doesn't really matter for our purposes. But I'm going to be using this as forest. That's the special rule for this one, is this is forest, not city hex. Also, it takes place at nighttime, which means we only have a range of 3 hexes. So this is going to be close in knife fighting. All right, so that's special rules. That's our Soviets. For our Americans, we have some really cool stuff going on. They've actually got 3 heroes they get to use. They have Hood, who's got some special abilities. We got Hudson, who's got some special abilities. And we got Tiny. Tiny, gotta love it. All right, so these 3 guys, they're elites, they're characters. They're a little bit different. And we also have some infantry and some recon, if I'm dropping them here. All right, so these 2, all right, so a couple of basics. And then as far as vehicles go, the Americans aren't doing quite as well. They've got some weaker stuff. They've just got a Humvee, which I can vouch, those things blow up really easy. I know, I was in one. And then M113, is that right? Yeah, 13. Transport vehicle. Both of these can transport. They can transport up to 1 full squad and 2 hero units. So we're going to divvy up the recon. Damn, I forget how I had set this up. Yeah, we'll put them there. Put them there, and Hudson and Tiny are going to be in the armored vehicle, and Hood is going to be in the Humvee. Now they're going to be coming in from A4, and they're racing in this direction, and they're going to try to gain control of those 2 zones, okay? Got to get across the whole map, and they can't shoot at range. They've only got a range of 3 hexes, and I swear to God, I'm going to forget that. I know I am, but we'll try. Now for our Lycans, because there are some werewolves who are coming out in this one. We have, was it Gennari? Gennari, he's like the named character, so he's pretty badass. And we have 2 of these just generic Lycans, which kick ass in close combat. These guys will put some hurt on them, but not downrange. They got to do it with their sword, not swords, their claws. Here is for Gennari. He actually has a special card, so he has health. And when you get to here, that's when he flips. Here's where he dies. So a little health track to keep track for this guy. And there might be a little surprise coming up, but I've got them just thrown here on the map because they're going to spawn after the first turn of movement from both sides. All right, so the Americans are going to move. The Soviets are going to do whatever moving they're going to do. And then these guys spawn, and they're going to spawn randomly across the map. So we don't know exactly where they're going to be yet. I've got my markers over here to the side. Rex, moved, fire, disruption, all that good stuff. We'll be using those. I couldn't find the damn turn marker for some reason, so I just grabbed a random one to use because that will come into play. Now, only other concessions. There are no focus and aid markers like you would have seen in the vassal module. Those are not used on this. And personally, I think it'll be easier since I'm solitaire in this to not have to keep track of that. Only other thing is I'm not worrying about the cards with the exception of the Lycans. You notice I've got a deck of cards here I've already shuffled up. Now here's the deal. Lycans can tear apart infantry, but when it comes to armored vehicles like the BTRs or the Humvee, stuff like that, they're going to have a harder time tearing that up. The way it works is they have to play a card to be able to damage an armored fighting vehicle. If it's an unarmored vehicle, they can hurt it. Armored vehicles, they have to have a special card to do that. There are 3 in this deck. This deck is 7 cards big. So what I'm going to do when we're playing this game is if they are attempting to make an attack on a vehicle, I'm going to randomly draw the card off the top, flip it, and if it is one that gives them the ability to attack the vehicle, then the attack can proceed as normal. And if it's not, then it means they are failing to penetrate the armor this round. So it's roughly 40% chance that they can attack vehicles. I don't know how well this is going to work. That's my little concession, changing it for solitaire play, but I think this will work well for our purposes. I've got other markers over here to the side. Those 2 are just objective markers to remember the fact that these are our objectives. And then control markers, I've already got them flipped to the Soviet side because the Soviets are obviously going to get to those farmhouses first. And then the other side is the NATO markers if they are able to gain control. Now, one thing I don't get is the NATO guys come in here at A4. So they're going to start here and then work their way in. If it was on the road, I'd be able to come screaming in. But since we're knife fighting and not being able to shoot past 3 hexes anyway, I guess it really doesn't matter. But that's all we need to know for our scenario. Got our little player aid here ready to go. So let's get stuck in and see how this is going to go. Leave my Lycan here, just ready to go. Got my dice. Got my badass freaking dice tower because gotta love the wife, man. She did good on that one. Got to give her props. Now, got to do for our initiative. So we are going to roll twice. First one's going to be for the Soviets to see if they get initiative. And the second one will be for the Allies. All right, so Soviets are getting a 3. Allies are getting a 2. Damn, Soviets get it. So Soviets, if I remember right, that's picking. But since we're playing solitaire, I'm just going to go whoever wins moves first. It'll make it easier for me to go with it. But in the actual game, if you're playing against someone else, you get to pick, right? So if you want to go first, you can. If you don't want to go first, you can make someone else go. For our purposes, like I said, we'll just go with who wins is going to move first. So Soviets are going to be moving first. Now, I put them here for specific reasons. I kind of want to make it to where they can't get, what am I thinking here? Like there's no open spot for the Allies, for the Americans to shoot for. So if I try to guard one house, they can swoop down and gain control of the other and then focus their fire. If I guard both locations, at least it spreads things out so they can't just focus on an easy victory. And then maybe some guys up front in these woods to slow them down a little bit, make them waste some time because there's only 6 turns in this game. So they can't really sit on their laurels, their ass. They're going to have to scoot in here quick. So for our first movement, I think we're just gonna, boom, right there, right into the edge of the woods. So they can pop back if they need to. We'll mark them as moved. And damn, this is one thing I don't like about doing it by hand versus doing it on vassals. I don't have to worry about the markers and shit on vassal. You can just click and it's there. But how far do we move these guys down? Their movement is, what is that, 8? Yeah, they got a movement of 8. Moving along the road, they can easily get to the farmhouse. So I think we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll go 5. Yeah, we'll duck down. So 5, 6 right there. Nope, actually it'd be a little bit more movement onto that hex is 3. So that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, because we're still on road, and then 5, 6, 7 to move there. So almost complete movement for them to get there. And we're not, okay, yeah, I should have done that. Since they only moved 1 forward, they're going to unload those guys as well. So mark them as moved. And I know I can move up to half and unload, so maybe I want to take that back. That's half their movement, and then we can unload them there. Yeah. Let's do that. That cooks all their movement, but now they're unloaded. So I've got both of them there, spread it out. That way they're not just easy targets combined into a single hex. And I think we're going to do the same thing over here. Yeah, I want the vehicle guarding the key point, so we'll move him there and then unload, show clear. And we'll just mark them moved. That covers both of them. Good enough. Sweet. They've got control. They've got both farmhouses. They started in some clear hexes here. So now if the Americans shoot up the road, they're going to run into some opposition. And if they try to go for either farmhouse, there is blocking. So this is going to make things much harder on them. Okay, so the Americans are having to come in on A4. And let's see, the Humvee moves faster. So we'll have our armored vehicle go first because, yeah, I want them to try to stick together. And if they're coming there, let's see this, 1, 2, 3. Damn, he doesn't even have enough movement to get there. And I'm not going to unload those guys anywhere near soon. Let's see, how much is a forest hex to move into? 2. Okay, perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Will be for the armored fighting vehicle. I want to get them into a defensive position to start off with because I don't know where these lichens are going to spawn yet. And here's the thing. In this scenario, the lichens are going to go in one of 2 directions. Either towards the closest enemy, which is either, or towards the farmhouses, whichever one's closer. And that's going to depend on where they spawn in this big section of forest here. We'll be doing that here in a sec. So I kind of want to keep my guys together so they can concentrate fire because those lichens can take a beating. And if they spawn in here at A4s, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I go there, but that's a lot of movement points I'm wasting. I don't want to shoot him all the way up there because if they get too spread out, it could take a minute. And if he's going 5, it's my thoughts because I want to get up into these woods and unload so I can clear out, focus the woods down and then move towards something because you get victory points for taking out enemy units and for controlling terrain. Right now, the Soviets are going to massively control some terrain. So the Americans have to get in there and stick and jab, really get some hurt downrange. Yeah, because Hood's good. He's got great firepower, but he's got to be adjacent. All their range is short, so nothing's going to be doing very... Oh, I'm not going to hold him back. I gotta move him up. Maybe into that rough... Let's see, rolling terrain. Does it provide any combat shift? Yes, it does provide 1. So that'll be a defensive bonus. I could get him over to there. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, he can get to there, and then he's not going to be too spread out. This way they're moving in at the same time. Now we got to focus on our lichens. And here's the deal with our lichens. In our little set of special rules, They will set up after the Soviets and the Americans have moved in the movement phase of turn 1. The Lycans will enter. Roll a d6 and place each Lycan combatant, whatever, as follows. Damn, this thing only has d10s. I gotta grab a d6 now. Okay, so got myself one of my lovely double 6 dice. We're gonna go Lycan, and then Gunari last to see where they go. First, double 6 gives us a 5. A 5 is going to be L5. C L, that's H-I-J-K-L. Oh, that is bad. They're going to be hearting them this time. Well, no, I think they've got to be in the hex, so they'll probably have to move on the next turn to try to get after them. But they are right here on top of some enemy units. That could be good for the Americans. All right, let's see where the second one's going. Oh! Knocked it. That is a 6. 6. Going to be an 8. In 8. He's going to be down here. Damn. The Soviets are getting screwed. All right. That is the last Lycan. Now we got just the hero one. And he got a 3. 3 is going to place him at G4. G4 TV sucks. Let's see. Oh, no. Poor Americans. They're done. They're done. All right. So that is where our Lycans have popped up. That is really bad for everyone. They are spread all across this map. They're right there next to the Americans. They're right here next to the Soviets with this one. And then this one is an easy range of popping down here or up there. There's 2 hexes. Let's see. Yeah, 3 hexes between each. I probably have this one go down there just so they're not focusing their attack up there. Our Gunari, his special abilities, he has the ability to regenerate, which means during the rally phase, he will undisrupt, and if not disrupted, regains 1 health. So he has to be focus fired. If he's not, he will just keep popping up his health back if he's not just focused down to be killed. Plus, he ignores enemy zones of control. We've got a little black cube here to keep track of his health. I might ignore him. If I attack with everything, like unload everyone around him, I might be able to gun him down, but it'll be hard to get him down. And he's got something else. Oh, that means he's not ranged. Yeah, he doesn't have range ability. None of these guys have range abilities. Oh, no. And the Lycans, besides, they have the same abilities that he does, with the exception that these also ignore the first hit. Oh, that's brutal. That is so brutal. They are going to be putting some hurt on everyone. Those Lycans are tough, man. Okay, so we will see a second turn, though, because we are already past the movement phase. These guys just spawn in. They're going to move on the next one. We're going to be rolling to see where they move. And if you guys can see over here, I'll zoom the camera down. The movement phase over, it's the close assault phase. Close assault phase, if you have a black number, like these units, you don't have to, you may do it to adjacent hexes. If you have a white number, like all of our Lycans, you have to be in that hex. So they would have to move into the enemy's hex. And the thing is, from here on out, no matter who has initiative, the Lycans are going to move last. It will be rolling a d6 to determine what direction they're going to move in, either towards the farmhouses or towards enemy units. So there's no way you can out-initiative them and move away from them. They can still come after you, and these guys are pretty damn quick on their feet. They're faster than any infantry that either side has. Only vehicles are faster than them. So, that's going to hurt them. Since I know I'm not going to do any close assaults, that would just be stupid and suicidal. These guys have values of 12 or 16. So the odds are just incredibly bad. Just to show you guys, if you attacked as the Americans or the Soviets, you would be on the worst column, right? At least the worst. Yeah, that'd be 1 to 3. That would be 1 to 3. Well, actually, that'd be 1 to 4, which it doesn't even go that far. So it'd be the worst column with the worst modifiers. No way you're going to be doing any close assaults as the Allies or the Soviets. Yeah, they're going to have to try to shoot these guys from range, which won't happen until the next turn. So we're going to skip our close assault phase since the Lycans can't. That goes into housekeeping, and housekeeping is easy. You're just going to remove all these moved markers here and any fired markers, which will be happening on the next turn, because I can guarantee you those Lycans are going to get shot at. And we would do an aid or focus marker phase, but again, they're not being used during this scenario. They're not included. Just an FYI, if you don't know what I'm talking about, the aid and focus markers allow you to pick a hex of units and either increase their chances of survival during an attack with like an aid marker, or if it's a focus marker, it gives you like re-rolls for their attacks. So really good things to have during your match. All right, but we have finished turn 1, so boom, we will mark this up. We've got our deck set, we got our battle set to go, so we'll chop the video here. We'll pick up with turn 2, where both the Americans and Soviets are going to have to figure out what they are going to do, because in the scenario, they were fighting each other, and then suddenly werewolves pop up, and now they are going to have to fight not only the werewolves, but each other. And this actually worked out really well for the scenario, because the Lycans are the least powerful. Yes, their close assault factor is pretty high right now, but his goes up. So the two Lycans are kind of going after the Soviets, while the leader is going after the Americans. So it kind of divides the attacks out a little bit. Now, I'm not going to show you, but down here in our scenario, there is one more little surprise that can pop up. So you guys will have to stay tuned for the upcoming videos to see who or what might also be joining the fight. All right, that's going to be it for this one. You guys take care, and I will see you in the next video.